bacon.
There's a little Homer Simpson in all of us, isn't there? Well, looks like a pretty good breakfast going on there at Roush Fenway to feed the troops.
Well, over easy.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we're going to talk tires, and starting with what happened yesterday. First laps on this new surface, and that, of course, Chase Elliott after that spin.
Yeah, and what you'll see is we run the interliner on this raceway. Normally short tracks we don't run interliner, but at Bristol here you can see that's the interliner inside the tire right there. And we do run an interliner in both right side tires here at Bristol because of the high banking and the high speeds. They felt it was a much safer situation to have that interliner.
Yeah, we can use our cutaway tire or our Ford cutaway car to show you exactly what the interliner is. It's actually the tire within the tire. And Daryl, you're right. Normally at tracks under a mile, we don't run the interliner. This is the interliner right here. And the reason we only run it in the right side here at Bristol, being a half-mile racetrack, is the loads and the banking. Now, someone asked me, how come we don't run interliners like at Martinsville if it's an issue having a flat tire? When you do run an interliner, it creates a little more heat within the tire, and heat in a short track is already pretty much exaggerated.
Yeah, interliners were developed by Goodyear in the 60s. Buddy Baker was one of the test drivers for that program, so that if you had a flat tire at high speed, the tire just wouldn't collapse all the way down on the rim and the car crash. It was an extra margin of safety, and it still is today.
Mike, I was watching the 19 car of Suarez with that car set on the pole here last year with Carl Edwards, and he is running. This morning, he has really picked it up. I mean, he was over on the right side of the sheet yesterday. Today, he's 14th quick, and he looks very competitive this morning.
You know, one other thing I'd add on the interliners, now that these cars have splitters, when that car drops down on the splitter, they have really no grip. I mean, you hear the teams constantly talking about getting their heights right and not letting the car sit on the splitter, and that's all for handling, but if it really just sits on, so if you don't have an interliner in a place like this, carrying this much speed, that much load, all this banking, the car will just go straight in the wall. So the interliner definitely helps the potential of saving a race car.
Now, Joey had a moment yesterday. I said Chase Elliott was the only incident in practice yesterday. That was incorrect. Danica Patrick on track. Joey Logano coming fast. Thought Danica was going to give him that bottom lane. Not so. The top lane didn't have any grip at that time, and he eased it up into the turn one wall.
Yeah, he had an issue. The moment is kind of when you get a little bit left. That was an issue.
Danica on her in-car radio said when she pulled the car into fourth gear, nothing happened, so that's why she was slow. Then she grabbed the gear and got going. And that's what caught Joey kind of off guard.
Yeah, and
as she picked up speed there.
And even Joey in his interview after that incident or issue, he said, well, I just went up to go around her and I didn't anticipate there being a problem. Yeah. And there just was so little grip from all those marbles that have been thrown up in those outside grooves.
And that's what gets you in trouble here, Mike. And Jeff, you know this. You anticipate, you expect someone, you kind of know what they're going to do. And so you're reacting to what you expect them to do. And when they don't do that, you have no room. You just get in trouble here in such a hurry. You have no second chance here.
This is Kyle Larson getting up to speed. Let's ride with him.
He's very uncomfortable, by the way, having to run down here on the bottom of the racetrack.
You see how little grip there is. When you're not in this section right here, that dark area means there's a lot of grip, rubber being laid down. As soon as you come off that to the white area of the concrete, there's just very little grip front and rear. So listen to the engine. And you can see the car wiggle back and forth. In the lap before that, you can hear the rear wheel spin almost because they come up out of that. And plus, there's not as much banking there to hold the grip of the rear tires.
But Jeff, listen how early he gets out of the throttle. He's coming off the corner, shooting down this little straightaway 650 feet, out of the throttle, and roll to the middle of the corner before you get back in the gas.
What I'm seeing here is just each lap faster, more aggressive to the throttle. Look how early, yeah, he's rolling out early, but he's getting back to the throttle really early also.
And then speed's coming up because, again, if you listen, carries it a little further, gets on a little quicker. Those instants, those little further, get back on a little quicker relates to really fast lap times.
As we've been riding along with Kyle Larson, Eric Jones pulls in after running a lap of 14.948 128 miles an hour, fastest lap of the day.
That car's been fast. You know, yesterday he was fast in practice. Today he's fast. Pretty good. Looking pretty good for this
Went a
weekend.
little too fast the next corner, so I think we're going to bring it in. Seen a lot of potential out of this young man. We certainly have seen it in other series that he's raced in, but already this year, a lot of speed, a lot of great heads-up driving. I'm so impressed with Eric Jones.
I see that sticker right there. That's 21 means 21, which means he's not old enough to carry the Coors Light pole sticker on his car. But I don't think trouble turn 2. Ricky Stenhouse backed it into the wall.
Whoa, buddy.
Caution. Was saying,
That's a right rear, pretty good.
I don't think I've ever seen a young driver as composed for his age as Eric Jones.
I agree.
Yep.
He's an old soul. I mean, he's been doing this his whole life. That's right.
Go for a ride with Ricky Stenhouse, see what happens. Down here, turn 1, goes down to the bottom. The back end just steps out.
Pretty good
Clear
later.
down.
And he did a really nice job of that car not coming all the way around. The banking sort of picked it up. He did a little dirt track in there, and unfortunately, he still got the right rear corner of the rear bumper in the wall. And to me, that's what you're dealing with at this racetrack in general, DW, and you know over the years of what it takes to go fast as far as what the car needs to do. And what you're going to sacrifice is that entry. There's no way the entry is going to be stable and underneath you. You're going to have to float the car in there. But how much can you handle? I remember one of the best races I was ever having here. Had an incredible car, leading the race. Went to go under a lap car in the race, turned down to turn 1, and the back end just came right out on me. That's just how close on the edge the right rear was in order to go fast through the center.
Ricky Stenhouse backs it in. We're under caution.